Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, but you can call me Pajama Grandma. In case we haven't met yet, in my kitty cat pajamas today, and crazy hair, crazy straight hair, because I decided to give my hair a rest today. Got a big week coming up with the Women's Summit launching, so I wanted to not fry my hair by curling it every single day, but I'm going to be curling it every single day, so I wanted to give it a rest today. Today is day 48 of doing one thing a day that makes us happy, that makes me happy. Out of the little journal book, do one thing a day that makes you happy. Because this year I decided on purpose, I'm going to find more things to make me happy. I want to create more of what I want in my life, not more of what I don't want. So today is a sayings day, and here's what it has to say. Handy dandy magnifying glass. Laughter has always brought me out of unhappy situations. Even in the darkest moment, you usually can find something to laugh about if you try hard enough. Red Skelton said this, and I'm not sure if you are young enough to remember Red Skelton, but I remember Red Skelton when I was a little girl. And actually, I was a little girl, so I'm going to be 59 this year. That means if I was a little girl, then probably a lot of you, and you may not even have been born or you have ever heard of Red Skelton. But in this day and age of technology, I bet if you Googled him, you could find some of his stuff online. I'm sure somebody's got it on there. Actually, I haven't even thought of Red Skelton in decades until this quote came up, but it's so true. How many times do you find yourself in a really difficult situation and you know that if you didn't laugh, you'd cry? I tend to be a little clumsy. I have questionable vision. I can't see out of my left eye, and I need a magnifying glass for the right. So that means I am physically clumsy more often than I care to admit. So like pretty much every day. Now, if I trip on something, or if I run into a doorway, or if I drop something or miss a mark on something, sometimes I could get really frustrated in the past. And I learned that it's a lot easier to just laugh at those things and realize that is just a part of who I am. It's a part of my nature. And so instead of being frustrated by it, I play it off. I just laugh at it, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. And that feels so much better than beating myself up for spilling a glass of milk, or missing the counter, or doing something silly, or dropping something, or walking into a doorway. It's just much easier to laugh at ourselves. And mostly we're laughing at ourselves and our reaction to things. Now, do I still get carried away? Do I still get upset by stuff? And do I still get frustrated? Absolutely. But as soon as I catch myself doing that nowadays, I'm trying to laugh about it. I'm trying to say in my head, okay, well, that's an embarrassing way for you to be behaving, to be all frustrated over something that you have no control over. You might as well just laugh at yourself for having that silly reaction of being so frustrated. So there's always something to laugh at. Even when we're having major health challenges, or major business challenges, or major frustrations in our life, it's just, there's always something to step back and say, okay, what is interesting about this situation? What is funny about this situation? What is so ridiculous about this situation that it's laughable? And today our challenge is to what I laughed about in a dark moment today. Now, I'm going to hope that you don't have any dark moments today, but if you do, find something to laugh about in it. Yesterday, I'm watching my granddaughter, and it's so funny. When my daughter got home from work last night, she just started to go ape crazy. I mean, running around, playing, laughing, having just a blast, and being just like a little crazy person. And it was right before bedtime. So I think she's like my son, where she gets really wound up right before bedtime. I think a lot of little kids do. And so it was funny. Now, I could have been frustrated about it and said, okay, well, we need to calm down because it's time for bed. Or I could have just sat back and watched her antics and said, oh my God, I wish I had that kind of energy, which is exactly what I did. Now, that isn't even a dark moment. It was actually a really fun moment and a fun experience. But if I would have gotten frustrated, it would have been a dark moment. So I'm trying to think of examples. But if you have a dark moment or something that comes up today, just try to step back and look at it from a broader perspective of what is funny about this? What could I smile about? Even if you can't laugh, is there something you can smile about? Think of something that makes you smile, and see if that doesn't lead to another thought that makes you smile, and maybe something that makes you actually laugh. Might remind you of a joke. Sometimes I just am in the weirdest positions or the weirdest situations, and it's like going to funerals. When I go to funerals, I don't go to be sad and cry and morose. I go to remember the life that that person lived. And there's always something to laugh about. We've always had good, fun, happy experiences with the people that have transitioned and have left us. And so I go to funerals with a different perspective now, especially now since my sudden cardiac arrest. I go with a different perspective than I did before. I used to dread going to funerals. I would never go to funerals. I would go to funerals only if I absolutely positively had to, like when my grandpa died or when my direct aunts and uncles died. Otherwise, I wouldn't go. And now I go knowing with 100% certainty that the person has just transitioned. Now, I'm going to probably lose a bunch of you with saying that, but that's something I know for sure based on my own personal experience. Anyway, go out and make it a fantastic day. Laugh at something that's dark and dismal and make light of it and don't make light of it if it's a serious situation to, hurt other people. Make light of it to help yourself deal with that situation in a more positive way. Laugh and smile. And of course, I will be with you tomorrow.